if he's a genius or a donkey yet.
Poker Genius or Donkey, the show where you watch me play the micro stakes, judge my play, genius or donkey. This is a bit of a follow-up episode to the last one where I folded kings. Oh my goodness, what was I thinking? Well, go back to that video, go through the thought process of that. Now, right now, I'm actually on vacation, so next week I don't believe there's going to be a video for you. Maybe I'll take a couple of weeks off, something like that. Thanks for everyone for watching. Fun Diver, I love that you're watching and making comments. He's a player that understands that when you think it through and you articulate your thoughts about the hand, you become better at poker. The reason I make these videos is a lot for me, because I get better at poker when I have to think through poker and express my thoughts and actually in some ways try to teach in some way. I'm not a, super professional poker player, but the more that I think through my play and try to explain that to someone else, the better my play becomes. So this is kind of a follow-up episode to the last one where I folded the kings. Go watch that episode first if you want. Doesn't really matter. Let's see where my... there we go. There we go. So I got kings. I'm in middle position. And what do we got going on here? We got a guy who is under the gun. Here we go. Under the gun again. Now, in the last video, the guy's raising was 10%. This guy, under the gun, he's got a pre-flop raise of 7%, which is such a tiny number of hands. He raised it up to 4 big blinds, so I have to assume he's somewhat serious about this hand. He's not fooling around. There's almost 0 bluffs that he's doing in this spot here, and so I try something different this time. Get a fold, and I decide I am going to flat. Oh my goodness, flatting with kings. Okay, so I almost never do this. I almost always raise with a pair of kings, especially when you got position on your opponent. However, 7% pre-flop raise, and it's under the gun. So actually under the gun, he raises only like 3 or 4-ish% of hands. Remember those super tight ranges, jacks, queens, ace, king, and of course aces and kings. It's such a tight range. So let's move forward, see if, someone else comes along. The button makes a reasonable call, I guess. You can do that with a ton of different hands. And we go to the flop. Jack 5-3, 2 diamonds. All right, so if a super tight range, aces is definitely going to bet. Kings, definitely going to bet. Queens, definitely going to bet. Jack's definitely going to bet. He's super tight guy. Is his 10s going to bet? I don't know if he even has 10s. I don't know, but I just flatted, so he does have a bit of a wider range. So anyways, he puts in, a reasonable size bet. There's 27 in the pot, and he bets 20 cents into 2 players. He has something. He would never do this with nothing. Not against 2 players. So I, judge my play, genius or donkey, I call it. Yeah, well, it's a pair of kings, so it's not bad. Let's see what the button does. The button calls it. Well, so I think someone's at least got a pair of jacks on this board. We get a deuce on the turn. A deuce on the turn. Under the gun player is going to continue betting. Continue betting. So I called, and the button overcalled. This guy's not stupid. It's really, really hard to play for a raise only 7% of your hands. He's a PFR of 11-7. He plays 11% of his hands and raises only 7% of his hands. So it's really hard to play that tight. So if 2 people call him on the flop, do you think he's going to double barrel if he's totally bluffing? I say absolutely 100% never. Never. That's my opinion on this. And what does he do? He puts in 47 cents into 87 cents, which is essentially going to commit him to the river. So right now I have to make my decision. Do I have the best hand right now? Yes or no? Well, I beat his queens. I don't beat his aces. I don't beat his set of jacks. Ugh. Ace, jack of diamonds? That's one hand that I can hope for. And the ace, jack of diamonds has a ton of outs as well. So I beat his pair of queens, but I even think his pair of queens gets skittish on a board like this, because his pair of queens, if he doesn't have the queen of diamonds, he's starting to think about things like ace, jack of diamonds and other related hands. And of course, an ace, four of diamonds is like the nuts right now. So I decide I fold. Gosh, am I way too tight for folding this one? I don't think so. We get a call from the button, and we go to the river. It's a super blank 8 of hearts. And what happens? $1.81 in the pot. He bets for... Oh, no, he checked it. He checked it. And the button checks it. And what do we got? We got, I believe, a pair of kings and the jack 9 of diamonds. So, I had almost the best hand. Almost the best hand. I would be calling for a chop. And it's like, oh, is this an opportunity missed? Well, when you think about it, if I'm going to chop the pot with him, that means I'm going to have to pay my share of the rake. So my overall profit margin at the end of the day is quite low. And he could have just as easily had the pair of aces or the pair of jacks. Now, he had the diamond draw, and you'll look at that. On the river, what was I going to hope for on the river? Any diamond is like just barf, ace, barf, 4, barf. The 8? Jack 8 could have come along. Anyways, thanks for watching the show. I'm heading out on my vacation now, and I'll take a couple of weeks off. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks for your comments. Please leave me feedback, and follow me on Twitter at Pigadonk. And remember, this is why I show you videos like this. Remember, fold.
Yeah, I haven't figured out if he's a genius or a donkey yet.